Alright, let's talk about the offside rule. And I know what you're thinking right now. You're thinking, oh great, here we go. Another soccer fan trying to explain this impossible rule that makes no sense. But here's the thing, I promise you, by the end of this video, you're gonna get it. Like, actually get it. Not just nod along and pretend you understand while secretly still being confused. You're gonna watch the World Cup, see the ref blow the whistle for offside, and you're gonna go, oh yeah, I know exactly why that happened. So let's set the scene. You're watching your first World Cup match. Maybe it's Team USA. Maybe it's a big game everyone's talking about. Doesn't matter. You're locked in. The energy's high. Your team is attacking. A player makes a run. The ball gets passed. Someone shoots. Goal. The crowd goes insane. You jump off the couch. You spill your drink. You're screaming. This is amazing. And then, the referee blows the whistle. The goal's wiped out. The players are walking back. The commentator says one word, offside. And you're just sitting there like, what? What just happened? That looked like a perfectly good goal to me. Yeah. Welcome to soccer. This is the offside rule, and it's the single most confusing thing about this sport for new fans. But it's not your fault. The rule is complicated. It's enforced by computers drawing lines on a screen that measure millimeters. And honestly, even people who've watched soccer their entire lives still argue about it every single game. But we're gonna break this down in a way that actually makes sense. No gatekeeping. No assuming you already know stuff. Just straight talk. Let's do this. Okay, first things first. If you're coming from American football, I need you to do something for me. Forget everything you know about offsides. I'm serious. The offside rule in soccer is nothing like offsides in the NFL. Like, not even close. In football, it's simple, right? You can't cross the line of scrimmage before the ball is snapped. There's a clear line. The ball is sitting there. You either cross it early or you don't. Easy. In soccer? Oh man, it's a completely different beast. There's no line of scrimmage. There's no static line at all, actually. The line is invisible, and it moves constantly depending on where the players are. Not where the ball is. Where the players are. And here's the part that breaks everyone's brain when they first hear it. You can actually be in an offside position and it's totally fine. Like, completely legal. You're not breaking any rules. Wait, what? Yeah. Just being in an offside position isn't a foul. You only get called for offside if you're in an offside position and you get involved in the play. If you touch the ball, or block a defender, or mess with the goalkeeper's view, then it's offside. But if you're just standing there minding your own business and the play happens somewhere else, totally fine. No whistle. I know. It's already getting weird. But stay with me, because once you understand the basic rule, everything else clicks into place. So here's the core rule. The simplest way I can put it. When your teammate passes you the ball, you can't be closer to the opponent's goal than the second to last defender. That's it. That's the rule. Now, I know that sentence has a few moving parts, so let's break it down piece by piece. When your teammate passes. This is huge. Offside is only judged at the exact moment the ball is kicked by your teammate. Not when you receive it. Not when you started your run. The freeze frame instant when the passer's foot makes contact with the ball. That matters because you can be behind the defenders when the pass happens, and then sprint past them to receive the ball in what looks like an offside position. But that's totally legal. You were onside when the pass was made, so you're good. Timing is everything in soccer. This is why you'll see attackers constantly making runs, stopping, checking their position, then going again. They're trying to time the pass perfectly so they're onside at that exact moment. Second to last defender. Okay, so why second to last? Why not just the last defender? Because one of those defenders is almost always the goalkeeper. The keeper is usually the last line of defense, right? So the rule says you need to be level with or behind the second to last opponent when the ball is passed. In practice, that usually means the last field player. The last defender who's not the goalie. But here's the thing, it doesn't have to be the goalkeeper. If the keeper is way out of position, if he's run up the field for some reason, it could be two field players. The rule just says two opponents. Doesn't matter who. Closer to the opponent's goal. Alright, so how do they measure closer? It's based on any part of your body that you can legally score with. Your feet, your legs, your torso, your head. But not your arms, because you can't use your hands to score in soccer. So if your head is past the last defender, even if your feet are level, that's offside. If your shoulder is leaning forward past that line, offside. This is why you'll see those insane VAR reviews where they're drawing lines on the screen and measuring someone's armpit. We'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, it gets that precise. Okay, time out. I know you might be thinking, this is so complicated. Why does this rule even exist? Why not just let people stand wherever they want? Great question. So back in the 1800s, when soccer was first being invented in England, there was no offside rule. And you know what players did? They just parked a guy right in front of the opponent's goal. Like, literally standing next to the goalkeeper. And teams would just boot long balls to him over and over again. It was boring. It was cheap. It killed the flow of the game. The Brits called these guys goal hangers, because they just hang around the goal waiting for the ball. So in 1863, they created the offside rule to stop it. The rule has changed a bunch of times since then, but the core idea is still the same. Offside forces teams to actually build their attacks. To move together. To time their runs. To be strategic. It's what makes soccer a beautiful, tactical game instead of just a long ball contest. It's also what makes it incredibly frustrating to understand when you're watching your first match. But hey, no one said beauty was simple. Alright, now that you've got the basic rule down, let's talk about the stuff that confuses everyone. even people who've been watching soccer for years. These are real scenarios that happen in games all the time, and they're the moments when casual fans go, wait, I thought that was offside? Or, how was that not offside? Let's go through them. First scenario, you can't be offside in your own half of the field. This is a big one. If you're standing in your own half when the ball is passed to you, you literally cannot be offside. Doesn't matter where the defenders are. Doesn't matter if you're the only player back there. Your own half. You're safe. This is why you'll sometimes see a defender make a bad pass, and an attacker sprints from midfield to chase it down even though there's no one between them and the goal. They're onside because they were in their own half when the pass happened. Second scenario, you can't be offside from a goal kick, a throw-in, or a corner kick. These three restarts are completely exempt from the offside rule. So on a corner kick, you'll see attacking players literally standing right next to the goalkeeper, crowding the box. Totally legal. No offside. Same with throw-ins. A teammate can throw the ball to you even if you're in an offside position. Doesn't matter. Goal kicks. Same deal. Why? Honestly, I think it's just because the rule would be impossible to enforce on restarts and it would slow the game down even more. But whatever the reason, those three situations get a pass. Third scenario, being passively offside. Okay, this one's tricky, but it's super important. Let's say two attacking players are running forward. One of them is in an offside position. One of them is onside. The pass gets made. It goes to the onside player. The offside player doesn't touch the ball. Doesn't get in anyone's way. Just keeps running. Is that offside? Nope. Play continues. Because even though one player was in an offside position, they weren't involved in the play. They didn't interfere. So no foul. But, and this is where it gets messy, if that offside player makes a move toward the ball, or blocks a defender's line of sight, or distracts the goalkeeper, or does anything that affects the play. Whistle. Offside. This is called interfering with play, or gaining an advantage from being in an offside position, and referees have to make judgment calls on it constantly. And yeah, fans argue about these calls all the time. Because what counts as interfering? What counts as distracting the keeper? It's subjective. Welcome to soccer. Controversy comes with the territory. Fourth scenario, deflections versus deliberate plays. Alright, last scenario. And this one causes absolute chaos in the soccer world. Let's say a pass is made to an attacker who's in an offside position, but before the ball reaches them, a defender sticks out a leg and the ball deflects off them to the attacker. Is that offside? Yes. Still offside. The defender just deflected it. They didn't reset the play. But let's say the defender actually controls the ball. Like, they trap it, or they deliberately try to pass it back to their goalkeeper, and it ends up reaching the attacker instead. Now, the attacker is onside, because the defender made a deliberate play on the ball, which resets the offside. So the referee has to decide, in real time, whether a defender deflected the ball or deliberately played it. And yeah, you can imagine how well that goes. There are still debates about calls from 5 years ago where people argue whether a defender's touch was deliberate or a deflection. Good times. Okay, so we've covered what offside is and all the weird scenarios. But let's talk about how it actually gets called during a game. Traditionally, the assistant referee is the one who calls offside. You know, the official running up and down the sideline with the flag? That's their main job. They're supposed to stay level with the second-to-last defender and track the offside line the entire game. And when a pass is made, they have to watch the passer, the receiver, and all the defenders at the exact same moment to see if anyone's offside. Oh, and they're doing this while sprinting at full speed. While tracking 22 players. And an invisible, constantly moving line. Honestly, it might be the hardest job in sports. And for over 100 years, that was it. Just a human with a flag making split-second decisions. But then, in 2018, soccer introduced VAR. Video Assistant Referee. And everything changed. Now, when a goal is scored, VAR automatically reviews the play to check if anyone was offside in the build-up. They use camera technology and literally draw lines on the screen to measure if a player's shoulder or toe was ahead of the defender by a few centimeters. And I mean centimeters. Like, we're talking armpit-level precision here. You'll see them freeze the frame at the exact moment the pass was made, draw a line from the defender's furthest body part, draw a line from the attacker's furthest body part, and compare them. If the attacker's line is even a hair ahead, offside, goals cancelled. Now, this has made offside calls way more accurate. You can't really argue with a freeze frame and a computer-generated line. Well, actually, people argue with it constantly. But in theory, you shouldn't be able to. The downside? It's killed some of the joy of scoring. Because now when a goal goes in, fans don't celebrate right away. They wait. They look at the screen. They hold their breath while VAR checks for offside. And then, sometimes, the goal gets ruled out because someone's shoulder was 2 centimeters ahead. It's frustrating. It's controversial. But it's also the reality of modern soccer. Alright, let's do a quick recap, because I just threw a lot at you. Here's what you need to remember. Offside is judged at the moment the ball is passed, not when you receive it. You need to have at least 2 opponents between you and the goal line. Usually that's the goalkeeper and 1 defender. Just being in an offside position isn't a foul. You have to actually be involved in the play. You can't be offside in your own half, or from throw-ins, goal kicks, or corner kicks. And VAR now reviews tight offside calls using computer lines, which is both incredibly accurate and incredibly annoying. And here's the ultimate truth. Even with all of this, offside calls are still gonna feel random sometimes. Because the rule is applied by humans making judgment calls in real time, and controversy is just part of the game. That's soccer. You learn to live with it. So the next time you're watching the World Cup and the referee blows the whistle for offside, you're gonna know exactly what happened. You'll see the replay. You'll spot the moment the pass was made. You'll see who was where. and you'll either nod and go, yeah, that's offside, or you'll scream at the TV like the rest of us because you think the ref got it wrong. Either way, you're now officially part of the conversation. If this video finally made the offside rule click for you, go ahead and subscribe, because I'm breaking down everything a first-time soccer fan needs to know for the 2026 World Cup. We're talking penalty shootouts, the group stage format, why fans lose their minds over VAR, all of it. Next up, I'm explaining how the knockout rounds actually work and why the round of 32 is brand new this year. But for now, go enjoy the tournament. And when someone near you asks, wait, what's offside? You can be the one who actually explains it. You've got this.